Okay, folks, just goes to show you what kind of a newbie I am. I thought I was recording and I wasn't, and here I am talking to you about all these things, and you're not even there. Anyway, I'm at this point pulling off the exhaust system, and I've sprayed the studs and the nuts with some PB Blaster to try and loosen them up previous to my yanking at them. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to pull that exhaust system off. I'm not sure what you heard, what you didn't hear. Okay, let's see if I can get this right. The bike that I'm working on now is not the first Yamaha that I've done. I think I mentioned I had a 700 before I had this one. A 700, quite a while ago. And now I've got then I bought a 550. And that 550, I got it from a guy near Ottawa in Nepean. Oh, that one's coming with a bit of yanking. There we go. And I bought it right in, I think in November. So I traveled to Ottawa to pick this thing up, this, not this bike, the 550 I had. Oh my goodness. And I was driving through an ice storm. I remember that very clearly. It was really bad weather. And one of the things that I attempt to do is not to pay too much money in the beginning for the actual bike. And the reason's not just because I'm cheap. I hope you realize that that's not the case. I think you should get money for what you've got. But I think most people don't realize how much money goes into something like this, that if you start off spending $1,200, $1,500, oh my goodness, you have not much wiggle room afterwards. If you want to, you'll never get your money out of it. Let me just put it that way. Never. No matter how well it looks, how good it looks, you might get somebody who comes along afterwards and says, "Oh, I used to have a bike like that." And if you get something like that, they're willing to pay a bit more because if there's a nostalgia that's associated with it. But unfortunately, I could easily spend, I don't know, $1,500, maybe more than that, $2,000 on this motorcycle. Wow, that one's tight. And if I start off by spending a lot of money on the bike to begin with, that just means I have less money to use. Oh, goodness gracious. I have less money to use. Oh, don't bust it, George. To do the renos, to get the thing restored. Good paint job on a motorcycle. This one I'm anticipating will likely be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200 to get the paint done to a condition where I'm satisfied. My last bike, the Nighthawk, that I did paid $900. The one before that, the 550 Yamaha, I paid $800. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So I bought this bike from Mark. I'll tell you, $500 is what I paid for it. But I've already spent, with the tires and the parts, I've spent somewhere in the neighborhood of $750, or more than that, closer to $1,000. And that's just the beginning. There's going to be a lot more money that'll go into this thing before I'm through. And now if I can keep my budget to somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,500 in total, I'll be really happy. But because I think it's worth it. If the bike runs as well as I think it does, without a lot of major complications, and if I can get it looking as it should, which is like a brand new bike, I would much rather ride something like that than to ride one of those brand new bikes off the showroom floor with all the bells and whistles and things like that. I prefer the older bikes. I really do. So anyway, there's those 4 off. Let's see how I do now. Not sure what else needs to be removed. Let's go take a look. So, looks to me like there's one attachment point here that I need to still concern myself about. I'm not sure if there's, I doubt if there's anything underneath. I know that this clamp here basically keeps the muffler onto the exhaust pipes. Right there. And, but apart from that, I don't think there's anything else. So let's see if I can get that off here. I'll see if I can't park these somewhere else here where I'm not going to knock yous. How am I doing? I guess. Alright, let's see what that will require. I think it's a 12. I think it's a 12. Is it a 12? No, it's not a 12. Maybe it's a 14. Yep. Oh, but it's a 13, which I just brought along with me, which is a ½ inch. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Let's start the way it's supposed to. And I'll need another. There we go. So I think I've mentioned with this bike I'm intending to not keep this exhaust. I don't want this exhaust. And it's a far better... Oh, come on. It's far better, if you can, to try and bring it back to what it was. And so that's my intention. So I'm going to do my best. This is going to be a little bit of trouble, trying to show you at the same time as working on it, and that's not